Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. John McEnroe saw Laura Siegemund do something to Aryna Sabalenka that drove Coco Gauff crazy at the US Open in 2023. Laura Siegemund gave Aryna Sabalenka an almighty scare at Wimbledon before the world number one prevailed to make the last four. Sabalenka is bidding to reach her first final at Wimbledon, and despite an extremely frustrating quarterfinal, she does live to fight another day. Siegemund tried every tactic possible to knock Sabalenka out of her rhythm, and the anger was clear for all to see during the entertaining clash. John McEnroe was an intrigued spectator during the last day clash, and it wasn't the first time he'd seen those tactics from the German performer. John McEnroe recalls when Siegemund drove Coco Gauff crazy. The tennis world were denied the possibility of a repeat of the French Open final between Gauff and Sabalenka as early as the first round at Wimbledon. Roland Garros champion Gauff was sent packing in round one by Diana Yastremska to send shockwaves across the All England club. Gauff might have watched Sabalenka's match yesterday with a smirk on her face, knowing full well what Siegemund is capable of. McEnroe remembers the game well, and he's claimed the German did exactly the same in 2023 at the US Open as she did yesterday at Wimbledon. He said on BBC One, "I saw Siegemund play Coco, what was it? 2 years ago at the US Open, driving her absolutely crazy. She did the same thing with the slice approach as she did yesterday against Sabalenka. She's got it. In the men's side you get players like Mpechi Pericard, and you go, I don't want to play those. You don't get those in the women's side, who can serve you off the court. But there are a few players, like Siegemund. I bet you they look at the draw, and they're like, oh, I should beat you 6-2. 6-2. When they get out there and play her, they're just not used to that on grass." Sabalenka can now emulate Gauff in 2023. Gauff had to deal with the tactics from Siegemund in 2023 in the very first round of the US Open, but she went on and won the tournament. Now, Sabalenka has done the same, and could also go on and lift the Wimbledon title this weekend. It would be the first time that Sabalenka has won this Grand Slam, and she will be desperate to tick off the title that every tennis player so desperately craves. It's hard to knock Siegemund for the tactics she has deployed at this event, as different styles are what make the sport of tennis so special. However, Sabalenka will be glad to see the back of the German player, and will now hope to get her hands on the title. Slow sparks. A clash of tactics at Flushing Meadows. The sun had set over Arthur Ashe Stadium, but the tension was as bright as ever. A cool Brooklyn night provided the backdrop for Coco Gauff's first-round match at the US Open against veteran German qualifier Laura Siegemund. The crowd was expectant. After all, Gauff was an emerging American star. What unfolded, however, was a different kind of spectacle. Part singles match, part psychological warfare. The chess game begins. From the outset, Siegemund played a different game than most. Not with power, but with patience. She sliced her backhand, tiptoed the baseline, and crucially, danced on the edge of the 25-second shot clock before serving. It was as if she was saying, let's set the terms. A flurry of groans erupted from the crowd whenever Siegemund's serve clock turned red. At first, Gauff stayed calm, until that pivotal third set. Coco speaks up. When Siegemund once again strolled past the time limit on Gauff's serve, Coco marched to the chair umpire, Mariana Veljovic, and said, "She's never ready when I'm serving. I'm going at normal speed. Ask any ref here. I've been quiet the whole match. Now it's ridiculous." TalkSport, +15. Tennis Now, +15. TNT Sports, +15. Reddit, +6. TNT Sports, +6. Express, +6. That declaration, delivered with youthful fortitude, ignited the match's emotional surge. The umpire finally handed Siegemund a time violation, a point penalty that swung momentum to Gauff. Crowd tears and post-match fallout. Once Siegemund was penalized, the stadium erupted, booing in time. Chants drowned out the German qualifier's serve. She began her match-concluding press conference in tears, lamenting the disrespect she felt from the crowd. "They treated me like I was a cheater, like I was trying sneaky ways to win this match." The Chronicle, +3. India Today, +3. Fox Sports, +3. In contrast, Gauff described the match as slow during her post-match comments, with a pointed laugh that went viral. Slow, she said, encapsulating both the tempo and the strategy at hand. Sportskeeda. 4. Reddit roars with opinions. The tennis world exploded on Reddit. One user wrote, "Even the commentary crew thought it was ridiculous and said Coco was right to say something to the ref. They were biased, but in this instance, they were pretty measured." Time, +15. Reddit, +15. The Chronicle, +15. Another noted, Laura started taking more time just to annoy Coco and get in her head, and it worked low-key. Reddit, +5. Reddit, +5. Reddit, +5. The moment sparked debate, but everyone agreed. This wasn't just tennis, it was theater. 5. John McEnroe notices Siegemund, but not here. Fast forward to Wimbledon 2025, where John McEnroe and Billie Jean King spotted a similar tactic from Siegemund on grass. King observed how Siegemund sliced her forehand, giving her no power and nothing. It was driving Sabalenka crazy. ESPN Africa, +9. The Tennis Gazette, +9. TNT Sports, +9. McEnroe, true to form, admired the gamesmanship, but as in New York, the effect was maddening. 6. What drove Coco crazy? So what was it that drove Coco crazy? It wasn't just a slow pace. It was control. Siegemund didn't just play tennis. She manipulated the rhythm. Each delayed serve, each step onto the shot clock, was a calculated attempt to shorten Gauff's timing, sap her momentum, and seize psychological advantage. For youth and adrenaline, Gauff is lightning fast, but this methodical pace is pure sand thrown in the gears. And when that precision tactic earned feedback from the umpire and crowd, Gauff fought back, earning the respect, point, and spotlight she deserved. 7. The aftermath. Gauff advanced, and eventually, over the fortnight, surged all the way to the title, taking down Aryna Sabalenka in a final for the ages. The first-round drama faded into memory, tucked in as a reminder of how even the speed of play can become a power move. Siegemund's career, marked by slices and strategy, still earned respect and reaction. Yet that night in New York, her precision just wasn't enough to counter a fiery teenager unwilling to be dictated to. Brain final thoughts. This isn't just a story of two tennis players. It's a study in tempo, psychology, and fairness. Strategy versus spontaneity. Siegemund's meticulous pace was a tactic. Gauff's swift reaction was her answer. Tactical grit. As one Redditor said, Siegemund wanted to slow Coco down. That worked low-key, until it didn't. TNT Sports, +4. India Today, +4. Sportskeeda, +4. Teen Vogue, +8. Reddit, +8. Reddit, +8. Mental warfare. In tennis, frustration is as powerful as spin. Gauff recognized it, confronted it, and reclaimed control. Legacy of momentum. That night marked the start of Gauff's dominant run, and the victory that followed was made richer by this early challenge. Epilogue. The rhythm of rivalry. At the 2023 U.S. Open, what John McEnroe surely would have called out for its strategic audacity, Siegemund's slow serve, did exactly what it was meant to, unsettle a favorite. That rhythm was broken when Gauff challenged it publicly, and that shift in tempo helped carry her through. So yes, Gauff was driven crazy. Not by power, not by grit, but by choice. The choice to slow the game, to own the universe one deliberate step at a time. And in the end, she picked up her racket, picked up her pace, and picked up win after win, culminating in that final against Sabalenka that crowned her U.S. Open champion. The lasting echo. That night remains a case study. On courts, coaches now warn players about pace management and the reactions it might evoke. For fans, a lesson in when to cheer, and when strategic gamesmanship can backfire. For players, if you're setting the clock, be prepared to be called out, and expect the crowd to notice. In the end, tennis is about more than strokes, it's about who sets the rhythm. And on that fateful night, Coco Gauff reminded everyone, when rhythm is under attack, it's okay to fight for the beat.